Well, public servants could embark on a strike next month. This after wage negotiations with government have deadlocked. The Public Servants Association, or the PSA, has abandoned independent facilitation attempts to try and resolve the matter. It's even since asked the UN's International Labour Organization for additional help. Let's find out where we are on this morning. Union spokesperson Ruben Maleka joining us from Pretoria. Mr. Maleka, good morning to you. Always good to have you on. I recall me speaking to PSA just a few weeks ago when you were going into these early negotiations, hopeful at that time, I'm sure you remember, that we'd find some kind of middle ground. But here you and I sit again and talks of a national strike. Why do you think this has failed?
Yeah, thank you very much and good morning to the viewers. Yes, indeed, it has failed. We had a deadlock, as you know, on the 23rd of April. And from that point, we were hopeful that we'll go into a conciliation process. However, the employer came to us as unions and says they want to do a facilitation. And under facilitation, they also committed that they would be in a position to table a revised offer. We went on a facilitation process last week, Friday, 7th of May, Sunday also, Monday. But on all these 3 days, the employer was just actually going into a caucus, never responded to any of our demands, never even advised on any of the offer that they can give us as unions. So you can imagine, how can employer request a facilitation process, request intervention, with the hope that they'll give us something that we can look into. But in the whole process, they just keep quiet, just look into our eyes, nothing to us. So we end up get frustrated as the PSA to say, but I mean, how could we go out for 3 days with the employer who just keeps quiet and not saying anything to any of us? Therefore, we felt that this is an opportune time that perhaps if we undergo conciliation process. The conciliation process is a formal process where if they fail to respond, we'll have to get a certificate, and which the ultimate of it is that with the members' mandate, we will have to embark on indefinite strike action.
Speak to me about that indefinite strike action, Mr. Maleka, if you could. What kind of sectors are going to be affected? What are the numbers of PSA members that could go on this strike?
Yeah, we're talking about 235,000 members. We're talking about sectors that, for argument's sake, we're talking about home affairs. If you have to get a death certificate, you will not get it. If you have to go anywhere outside of the country or come into the country, you will not be able to do so because you will not get any immigration official at any port of entry, because we're talking about 95% of immigration officials are PSA members in the country. So if you're talking about justice, courts everywhere, you'll not get any of them because they are all PSA members. 85% of Justice Department is PSA members. So widely speaking, in the key departments in the public service, majority of them, they are our members. And obviously, we've got also supporters, not necessarily also members. We've got supporters of employees who are not unionized, supporters of those who belong to other trade unions who are also equally frustrated that they are willing. Remember, in this case, even if the PSA gives a notice to strike, it does not necessarily mean it can only be PSA members only. All employees of the same employer who are also aggrieved, they can go on strike. It could be any employee of any who belongs to any trade union that can join this strike.
Mr. Maleka, let's talk quickly about any possible solution short of this strike action. There's still some time, I would imagine, for you to have discussions and interventions to avoid a national full-blown strike. Is there anything that can still be done, in your opinion, to try and prevent this?
Look, this is an opportune time. That's why the PSA, we have made ourselves available 24/7. Anytime, Sunday, as we have already been there on a Sunday, we are always ready. If the employer is serious, they are willing to talk to us and make an offer that it can resolve any possible strike action. We are ready at any time.
I suspect I may have missed it earlier. Forgive me if I did. Mr. Maleka, what is the set-down date for the strike action? If you didn't tell me earlier, please remind me again.
at this point in time, we haven't got a set date. We have launched our dispute on the 11th of May. In terms of the Labour Relations Act, the PSCBC, the Bargaining Council, has 30 days in which this dispute must be resolved. So, which means if we count days, then we have got until 11th of June when the dispute must have been resolved. If it's not resolved from that date, we only have 7 days to give notice for a strike action.
All right, I appreciate your time this morning. Hopefully it does not come to that and the middle ground is found. Mr. Maleka from the PSA, my thanks to you in speaking to us here on eNCA this Thursday morning.